Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and you guys, today from our friends at Hunkydory Crafts, we have two sets of For the Love of masks. So they're fantastic layering stencils. This one is layering corner blossoms. They're 5x5 mask set. And this one is layering blue tit. This is 5x5 mask set. And this one, the sweet little bird, guys, makes a beautiful card like this one. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you're going to learn how one lucky viewer could win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, so in this little booklet, we have got 4 layers of stencils or masks. And then they give you this little key. Each one has a notch at the top left and bottom right corner, and that's just to show you positioning. And then it's got a little A, B, C, and D, so you know which layer to put on next. Also written directions right here. And to get you started on your first one, a cute little coloring guide, okay? That makes this little guy here, and that's what I used on this card. I'm also going to show you another coloring alternative where you're just making a pretty bird, okay? It's not this variety of bird, it's just using your imagination because the colors were pretty. So here are all the different layers, okay, and we're going to get to those when I do some coloring with you. But in the meantime, this is a 5x6.5 inch card, and I used both a nesting place 12x12 patterned cardstock and the solid cardstock as well. So I just took one of the background sheets. Let me see, which one did I use? I used this really green one. This one you can't really tell, but it is a green background. I used this one right here. I used the top part of the paper just to cut slightly smaller than the card, and then inked the edges with a little bit of, I have so many ink pads on my desk, see if I can find it. I used gingerbread ink. It's here somewhere. To go around the edges. So it's just a nice medium cinnamony color brown. And then I cut out the little birdhouses, which were stacked right here, and then matted those with a little bit of the coordinating brown cardstock. And then I went ahead and stenciled this on a little bit of stamping white cardstock, and it's just cardstock that is meant for taking ink really well. You don't have to use it for just stamping. I forgot to grab it, but I'll link it down below. And I used that, and then I cut that image out, this was a really easy image to cut out using my tiny scissors. And then of course I added some little yellow flowers, which are right here. Okay, these are a little self-adhesive, and they have a little sparkle glitter in the center of them. And then this Dazzle sticker set was the little happy birthday. There, this is more greetings Dazzle stickers. All of those items are shown down below the video. If you are watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, if you're watching us on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and just click on the link that's listed there, and it'll take you to this webisode page so you can see all the materials that were used. All right, so let's color. Let's color. All right, so I'm going to take some of this Stampin' White cardstock, right? And now I'm going to take stencil A. And then it's important that you use the corner of your paper, okay? That's how you're going to know how to align it each time. It's going to be aligned on 2 edges right here, okay? That keeps everything in place. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of low tack tape. You could use washi tape, you could use painter's tape, just something that keeps it in place and is going to pull up really easily without tearing into your paper, like masking tape would or scotch tape. Okay, we're just going to put it like there. All right, and then I'm going to use the little color guide right here. Okay, so for this mask, Mask A, we want to use Warm Honey and then Velvet Fawn. Warm Honey on the body of the bird, and then that little Velvet Fawn. So let me find, here's Warm Honey, and here's Velvet Fawn. Now we have daubers, which is my preferred method of applying ink to this, in the small packages, and we also have them in the nice large sets. And so I've already used these on this side to color, so I'm just going to go back, and I've got my little honey, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to color in that cute little yellow honey. Now, you don't have to do any particular shading on this, you know, where it's darker over here, lighter over here. It's just going to fill in very easily because this stencil does all of that for you. So I'm following along with this picture here. I've got my little velvet fawn dauber ready. And we're going to do this little tree trunk right here. You guys can see this, okay. And so we're putting down our lightest shades of ink first. Go. Now we're going to take off this mask, and then you can just wipe these clean with a white paper or damp paper towel, or you could just run them if they're really heavily inked with a little soapy water. That works too. All right, our next layer, this one right here, and that's all the electric blue because it says B, B. And so we're going to align those corners again. Our notches are here and here, and then the little B is right there, so we know we have it on the right side. It's not difficult when you're dealing with something like a bird where you know which direction it's going. I find when they're not labeled like this, that things like flowers, they can go in any direction and find that you're turning them and turning them. This just makes everything so much easier. All right, so I've got my little electric blue ink pad. This one is going to cover a lot more area. We're getting into more details. You can see right down here we're coloring in some little flecks on the little body of our bird and the feet. Okay, I'm going to put that one back. We're going to remove this one. All right, so the next one is C. I'm going to go ahead, align these two edges right here. Got our notches in place. Got our letter C is right here. So this one for letter C, we know what we're doing here. This is green pear and muddy boots. All right, so here's muddy boots and green pear. And got my green pear, muddy boots. So let's start with green pear. This one is adding just a little bit here on the back of the bird and then a lot of green flecks. So these tiny little spaces right here, you kind of have to scrub on those a little bit more just to kind of get in those little spaces. Oh, not too bad. And now here's muddy boots. And this is going to give detail to our little branch. A darker shade of brown. And what's nice about this color key is you do not have to use these colors, okay? You could use 2 shades of brown, any shade of blue that you have, as long as it's kind of, well, as long as it's sort of a medium blue. You don't want to use like navy blue on this particular bird. And like a light green and a light yellow, as long as you have kind of those colors. And then I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to mix that totally up and do something completely different. Oops, my chair keeps slipping down. Hold on, talk amongst yourselves. I'm having a chair issue. Okay, I'm back. All right, so now take this layer off. Oops. All right, our last one, making sure that this side and this side are lined. Oops. Down our tape. All right, now our last color right here is charcoal. And I've got my charcoal dauber. You could also just use black. All right, and then going, all of this is going to add our final details. We're going over the feet, a little area right on the breast of the bird, and then some details on the feathers, the tail feathers. got it all. The eye. Let's see how we did. There we go. And you get really beautiful results. And you don't have to know anything about birds or stenciling. So then what I did was I took my little scissors. Now the size of your scissors are very important when you're cutting out something like this. You don't want to use your great big scissors. I like to just cut it out with just a little bit of white, okay, along the edge. We're cutting out a little bit of a border. And you'll notice the scissors are staying in one place and I'm moving the paper. So what we're going to do is cut off that excess. We don't need that in the way. And then we're just going to kind of move it this way, we turn it this way, just like that. And then when I got to, the rest is really easy to cut out, but then this part right here, between those tiny little legs, I just poked a little bit of a hole like this. Be careful that you don't hurt yourself. And then just kind of snip it away like this. Okay, like that. All right, so let's go on to the next one. So here's my little bird. This next one, I used just completely different colors for this. So I'm going to use first for the little breast part, I'm going to use Velvet Fawn, and then I'm going to use, well, first of all, I need to find my ink, so I'll be right back. All right, before we go on to our next card, I was reminded I didn't tell you about how you can win this one. So this is our giveaway card for this episode, and we are trying to promote our Paper Wishes YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on our webisode page, hop on over to YouTube, go to paperwishes.com, or there's a little link right down here below the screen. And we ask that you watch this video, or if you've already watched it on Paper Wishes, you don't have to. And then leave a thumbs up and leave a comment. And then we're going to wait about a week and we're going to choose one of the comments for this video. You also have to know your YouTube username. That's really important, okay? And then we will reply to one comment and say, congratulations, username blank, you're the winner. It's also really helpful if you turn on the little notifications bell in the top right-hand corner. That way you know if we've contacted you. So yeah, this is our giveaway card. All right, so for this one, you guys, this is a little 6.5 by 5 inch. For this one, I used craft cardstock, all right? This is a nice lightweight cardstock. Cut it slightly smaller than my card. And then I used a cutting die. This one is Wreath for All Seasons cutting dies, and I used, of course, the wreath out of a darker brown cardstock. I used a nesting place cardstock again for this entire card, and you could also use, you know, this cardstock on here as well. For this, I just grabbed craft. I love craft paper. So I cut this wreath out of the dark brown paper, and then these 3 little sizes of flowers. I cut those out of both dark pink and light pink. And then this little leaf I cut out of green and light green and medium green. Okay, so we got that. All right, so to do this one, went ahead and inked the edges of the craft cardstock with a little bit of gingerbread ink. See, I found that. And then went ahead and glued the wreath to the card. Okay, actually, no, I did not do that. Back that up. So I went ahead, before gluing all of this to the card, first I decorated my little bird, okay? So after the bird is stenciled, all right, which I'm going to show you how I did, then I glued the wreath on around it. And then I used little bits of foam tape, and after inking all of those cute little flowers with first blush pink on the light ones and then hot pink, and then added a cute little white jewel dazzle sticker to the center of each one. Okay. And then I added foam tape so that they had a little bit of layers on them, which is so cute. So once I got the flowers done, then I inked the edges of the green leaves with khaki ink. And then I just put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of them and just tucked them among the flowers, because remember the flowers are on foam tape. And then of course I've got this cute little border. This is from this cute little Barbie pink jewel border dazzle stickers, and I just put a length at the top and the bottom. There's the Just a Note, which is adorable with the little bird, and that comes from white tiny words and phrases dazzle stickers. And using a little pokey tool to get those off is so helpful. And all of these things are listed down below the video. All right, so let's get to inking here. So I'm just using a little scrap of this one. Okay, and here are my stencils. So I'm going to not do the branch on this one, okay, because I didn't need it on there. That area below the bird is just covered with my flowers, so you don't have to add the branch and you could just use the bird. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just using a smaller bit here because frankly I didn't want to cut into another sheet of craft cardstock because it's so wonderful. So this was just a little bit smaller and I didn't allow myself enough to tape it down. So we're just going to kind of wing this here. So literally wing it. Bird. Ha ha ha. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is use Velvet Fawn. Okay. Okay, and remember we're not doing the branch, so we don't need to worry about that. And I'm doing a little darker on this Velvet Fawn because it is a dark cardstock that I'm putting it on. So that's going to go that one for the first layer. Okay, for this next one, remember it was the blue, electric blue that we did before. And so instead of doing that, I'm going to do this cocoa bean. Which is just a nice medium dark brown. Okay. And then I'm going to do, I have to look and see what I did. Ah, yes, this next one is gingerbread. Okay, I'm aligning these edges again. Okay, there we go. And then the last one is the same as the other bird, where I'm taking, remember, I'm still aligning these corners down here. Super important. Using charcoal. And I just think this one is just a cute little versatile bird. I have no idea what kind of bird I've just made. That doesn't matter. It's just a pretty bird. There we go. How cute is he, right? So cute and so different in coloring and things from this one, okay? So don't let that color guide stop you as long as you're using light for this base color and then you're building, okay? So that's important. All right, so these I'm just gonna wipe off with a little water and that'll be fine. So let's move on to flowers. Gotta get organized here, everybody. Okay, so this next one, okay, this next one is the Layering Corner Blossoms. Also comes with 4 stencils. It comes with a little coloring key just to get you started. Same thing with all of the different A, B, C, D, and then instructions right here on layering. So we're going to start on this one by doing something completely different than this, okay? Because I've already shown you on the bird how to follow along with this one. So this one is just completely different colors, okay? So for this, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And if you can see here, I even used a little bit of foil on there, We're going to focus on adding different elements on this one. So for the background papers, I covered my card in luscious lace, 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. I used this navy blue lace right here. All right, and then once again, I did my stencils on the Stampin' White cardstock. Okay, so there's that. And then the Thinking of You and these little purple lacy borders, come from, these are purple Dazzle stickers, and they come with a purple mirror finish. They're so beautiful. And yeah, I was able to just add these. They come in one whole collection, and they've got borders and greetings, and everything that you need is right in there. That's a fantastic collection. Added little borders at the top and the bottom. So let's get to the coloring. So the first thing I did was take, okay, my little A is right there, my notches are here, and I'm going to align just like that. I'm going to tape them down. Okay, and then I'm going to start off with Orchid ink, and then the darker color is violet. So here we've got our orchid. I'm just going to do the top portion here. Oops. That edge keeps flipping up. There we go. All right, so there's the orchid. Now we're going to go to violet. And we, whoops, got to change our mask. All right. So the next layer is layer B, aligning these edges right here. Overlapping that edge with the tape. All right, and then we've got our violet. Also just daub, you don't have to scrub. When I get to this little corner, I want to be careful I don't overlap that. Such a pretty, whoops, my dauber just came undone. Okay, got that. Okay, so that's what we've got going there. Okay, this next one is C, and it's the leaves, aligning the top, this left and bottom edge. Okay, and for that one, we're going to use khaki ink because we're starting off with, we have 2 layers of ink for the leaves. We have the whole leaf, and then we have some details to add to them. So the whole leaf using khaki, and then right here we're using something that's just a little bit darker for those little details. All right, so we're going to add khaki ink here. Just like that. Okay, and now we have one more layer. Our little letter D is right there. We're going to align the edge and the bottom. Oops, I'm a little over, a little off my edge here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and color Shamrock. Oops. And you're just going over all those areas. And then before we move this mask off, we are going to do something a little bit different. So for the little flower centers where I'm going to add the foil, I need to add a different product, and this is Tacky Wind Dry Gel Medium. Just like a little gel paste. And I need something out of my box. You could use one of your little daubers for sure without a problem. You could also use a cotton swab if you don't want to waste a dauber, you know, like, because this gel stuff is going to gel, it's going to be kind of hard. And I forgot, where's my, I cannot find it. All right, so we're just going to go for it. I'm actually just going to use my fingertip. I would prefer that you use a cotton swab, but I have lost it. All right, so we're going to just apply it just like this. Okay, just to the centers. Now, fortunately, I've already done this because then you want to let that dry. You can see my little center right there, kind of shimmery. So now I'm going to take this and show you what that looks like. There we go. I'm also going to wipe this off because you want to get that gel medium off immediately because it will stick on your stencils and it won't be nice. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to add foil because I've let this dry, put on a very, very, very thin layer, and I've let it dry for about an hour. You could even let it dry overnight. It just doesn't matter. So here's the foil that we're using. This is Blooming Foil Collection. I'm not going to take it out of its package because it's so hard to get back in here without damaging it, the product. So once you take this out of the package, we find that it's nice to just take this sticky edge right here and then just fold it inside and leave it stuck to itself on the inside. Then you can take it in and out or keep these in a sheet protector. But I've just got a little bit of this blue right here. And I'm going to set this right there over that flower center. I'm just kind of burnishing with my finger. And you see it's like attaching. And then we're going to do this one. This little one. And yeah, super, super easy to do. And it just gives an entirely different look to those flower centers, right? So pretty. Okay, so that's that one. Now I have another idea. Okay, I have another idea for using that same flower. Ooh, there we go. This one's a little 5x5 card, you guys. And I've added, for the last layer, for the flower centers, tangerine stencil butter, and then also the little green pear stencil butter, okay? And I know we're running long, but I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So, first of all, I used a 5x5 card for this, and then I used Poppy's 6x6 pattern cardstock, and I used this one down here. I used the back of it that's a plaid, okay, because I really wanted pink plaid. My little greeting right here is from the Coordinating Die Cuts. And then I've gone ahead and just used everything right here. So what did I use? I used blush pink for the first layer. And then the second layer, I used hot pink for the details. Okay, then I used shamrock for these. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the last layer. It's this one right here. So once again, I'm aligning right here on these two edges, making sure everything's aligned. That's probably the most important part. All right, now for this one, you guys, because this paste is so, like, it can be thick. If you get it on really thick, you just kind of have a mess, all right? Now you can use a little palette knife and you can apply that like there, just adding it just a little bit. You could even use a little paintbrush, but our idea is we're trying not to get under the stencil, all right? So I'm just gonna do a little corner piece of it here. I'm gonna show you I'm just starting off with this, such a small amount, and I'm just sort of buttering that center. Sort of scraping off the excess and moving it to the next one like that. And then we're going to do this one there. So, and we don't want to waste the product, so we're scraping that off and then just returning that to that little jar. Okay, and I'm going to wipe this off. And now we're going to use, this one is pear, green pear rather, stencil butter. And what I love about this butter stuff is it has the most beautiful shimmer when you're done. Now this is a little easier to get on there because the areas are a little closer together and easier to kind of butter in that way. It really is like buttering. Just like that. And I'm going to get this little one up in the corner. Okay. So once that's done, you want to remove this stencil while it's wet. Do not let it dry because it'll ruin your stencil. Like that. And then I would immediately take this and go and put it, wash it. But because I don't have a basin of water with me, we're just going to wipe this off like this. As you can see, it comes off pretty easy, but if you don't get it off all the way, it just kind of leaves this shimmer on your stencil, so I would definitely wash that right away. All right, so this is what you've got. You've got that beautiful, and there's dimension on there as well. Just so cool. All right, you guys, I've shown you a lot of stuff. Thanks for sticking with me. This was really fun. I love using kind of the same items in a completely different way. That is a lot of fun. So, here we've got our beautiful flower masks and our cute little bird. Don't forget, this one is our card giveaway, so we really hope you participate in that. Don't forget we have a money saver on these 2 mask sets. It's right there if you're watching us on our webisode page. And if you just want to shop one mask or the stencil butters or something else, they're listed down below the video. If you click on the photos of each card, you'll also get a more detailed list. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.